Hello and welcome to Rise Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week we try to talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. If you didn't know that, well, now you do. And on this week's show, we got this.
I've sat in the million audiences now with this movie, and people they're cheering and they're screaming and they're talking back to the screen, and they're just having a great time. It's very interactive.
The need for plasma has never been greater. We are diagnosing more people in America and around the world with things like hemophilia and primary immune deficiency.
Common misconception that fish oil can taste or smell fishy or may even give you fish burns.
So many opportunities to run into your favorite WWE superstar and get an autograph and get a photo.
All of that and more right here on that show we like to call Rise and Unwind.
Kidney stones are one of those things you hope you never deal with until you do. More than 500,000 people end up in the ER every year because of them. March is National Kidney Month. So today we're talking about the warning signs and some new treatment options. We're joined by Dr. Jared S. Winoker, a New York City-based urologist, along with kidney stone patient Crystal Jefferson. I want to welcome you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
So what exactly are kidney stones and what symptoms should people be watching for?
Great question. So we get this question a lot. Kidney stones are actual rocks. They're rocks formed from the minerals that are typically dissolved in your urine up in your kidney. And when the stones move and start to pass out the kidney and block the drainage of the kidney, you can get some pretty severe symptoms. Things like severe pain that's often described as the worst pain in the world. You can have blood in the urine, nausea and vomiting, perhaps even a fever suggesting that there's an infection underlying that. But it is worth noting that many kidney stones are actually detected incidentally before they cause symptoms, perhaps on a CAT scan or a sonogram for another reason, which gives us opportunity at times to treat them before you have those problems. 1 in 10 people will have a kidney stone in their lifetime. So this is a very common condition. And it's important to note that it affects people of all ages and genders.
All right. Okay. What treatment options are available today? And how is the new CVAC system changing patients' experience?
Yeah, so when treatment is warranted for these patients, we have a number of really great minimally invasive options that are out there. The challenge with many of the options, though, is that they are designed to break up stone and not necessarily remove the pieces. However, those are the pieces that, if left behind, can lead to problems in the future. They can grow and potentially cause those symptoms that I mentioned. So the CVAC system is a very unique new system. It's a minimally invasive all-in-one treatment option that can be inserted into the kidney without any incisions. We can effectively break up the stone. And what's really unique is that we're able to suction out and vacuum out all those pieces that are being created to render the kidney free of stone and therefore potential future problems. So for me personally, it really has been a game changer in my practice and for my patients.
Yeah, wow, that was amazing. So let's talk about it, Crystal. Can you share what your experience was like living with a kidney stone?
I'm happy to share with you about my experience. In 2009, I was a patient that came to the emergency room vomiting and in excruciating pain. Although I passed up that kidney stone, I did continue to develop kidney stones. So I had continued to have back discomfort. I couldn't stand for long periods of time. I could not drive for long periods of time. I knew I needed help. This was a pain that I was consistently feeling, and it was affecting my quality of life. I researched and found a specialist, Dr. Winoker. I saw Dr. Winoker, and the type of stone I had, a rather dangerous staghorn stone. He gave me various options. And the CVAC system was one of those options to treat my kidney stone.
Fantastic. And what was it like undergoing treatment with the CVAC system? And what would you tell someone going through this right now?
It was an outpatient procedure. I did not have to be admitted to the hospital, but I did have to be take general anesthesia. My recovery time and the process went just as Dr. Winoker explained it to me. So I was back to doing those normal things that I really enjoy doing, driving for long periods of time, on my feet, cooking for long periods of time. I would recommend anyone that if they are offered the CVAC system, a newer option for treating kidney stones, that they shouldn't hesitate to take advantage of it. Obviously, I I trusted my doctor, my urologist, Dr. Winoker. I was a good candidate for it, and my body responded well. So the CVAC system worked well for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Crystal. Well, it sounds like this can definitely be something that you don't want to live with for very long. So Dr. Winoker, can you please give people that are watching right now information if they're feeling any of these symptoms, where they need to go to get more?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, if symptoms are severe, excuse me, you should, of course, call your doctor or go to an emergency room. Learning more, I would certainly recommend seeking out a urologist or a professional. But we do also have a wonderful website called surewithcvac.com, where you can learn a lot more, not just about the CVAC system, but all the treatment options available to you.
Awesome. Dr. Gerald Winoker and Crystal Jefferson, thank you so much for your time. You have a good day.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Take care.
The Housemaid is one of those thrillers where everything looks perfect on the surface, but then it just slowly unravels. It's based on the best-selling novel that stars Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried in a story filled with secrets, power, and unexpected twists. Behind the camera is director Paul Feig, bringing his signature style to a dark, psychological ride that keeps audiences guessing. Paul, it's great to have you here with us. How are you, my friend?
Dan, I'm great. On a Monday morning, I've never been better.
All right, so this story pulls people in fast and keeps kind of flipping expectations. What was it about The Housemaid that made you want to tell this story on the screen?
Well, I mean, the book is so good. The source material is there, and I'm always looking for, especially in the thriller genre, ones that have just big twists and turns that you don't see coming. And then once you get one twist, you get another twist, and then you get another twist. And, Frida McFadden's book is just so good. There's a reason it's been on the bestseller list for 2 years now. And so it just seemed like it was just too delicious to not bring to the big screen.
And you've kind of described this movie as almost a Nancy Meyers movie gone wrong.
Yes.
How did that idea shape the look and the tone of this film?
Well, I mean, exactly what it sounds like. I wanted Millie, the character of Millie, which is played by Sydney Sweeney, to come into this world that just on the outside looks like the perfect situation. The house is all cream colored and beautiful, and everything is perfectly ordered. And it feels like for a girl who was living in her car just, at the time, to come into this situation would be fantastic. Because it's a real, the whole book is really a statement about are we making judgments on just facades, and should we dig a little deeper? You don't want to just trust everybody, but at the same time, there's a lot of con people out there these days. So you want to delve a little deeper before you give the stamp of approval to anybody.
And the power dynamics in the story are just constantly shifting. How did you approach keeping the audience guessing on, I guess, who to trust?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to kind of really hide things. So, because there's such big turns, and we kind of make you root for things that later on you'll find out you probably shouldn't be rooting for. And it was just really getting my cast, who are so amazing, to just play very real into these things so that you don't see what lies beneath any of them, because everyone's got a really big secret.
And Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, they both play characters with a lot of going on beneath the surface. What stood out to you about the performances as pretty much everything starts to unravel?
Well, I mean, just the pivot that they made. Sydney had to kind of play very, kind of naive and innocent until you kind of find out her backstory. And then with Amanda, we just had a blast kind of letting her just be sort of all over the place because, Nina, that character that she plays, is very unpredictable and it keeps Millie off her game. So that was really fun. And then Brandon Sklenar playing the perfect husband. He just is wonderful, and him from other movies where he plays this guy. But then, to get to play with that was fun too. But no spoilers.
Of course. This movie feels like it's kind of designed to be a social watch, like either with an audience or with a group of friends. Why do you think that's important for the story?
Oh, well, first of all, movies, we need people back in movie theaters. It's fun to watch a movie by yourself on streaming, but there's nothing like that group experience. And what we've been finding with this movie is people are going in there with groups. And I mean, I've sat in the million audiences now with this movie, and they're cheering and they're screaming and they're talking back to the screen and they're just having a great time. It's very interactive. And I think with a movie like this, with all these twists and turns, because I'm a comedy guy, I've done Bridesmaids and all these things. Everything I do is engineered to get a vocal response out of an audience. So if you're there with your friends, you're just going to have a great time just looking at each other and saying, oh my gosh, and, and talking to the screen and just, going nuts.
Paul Feig, I'm a super fan and you are a hero to me. The Housemaid is now playing in theaters nationwide. If you're in the mood for a smart, twisty thriller that keeps the surprises coming, this one is worth seeing on the big screen. Paul, I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. And everybody, please go. You're going to have a great time.
For most of us, donating plasma isn't something we think about. But for people living with rare diseases, it's not optional. It's how they survive. Medications for conditions like hemophilia and primary immune deficiency can only be made from human plasma. And nearly 80% of people say they've never donated. Patrick James Lynch is a filmmaker, producer, and health advocate whose connection to this issue is deeply personal. Patrick, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thanks for being here today. Patrick, this isn't just a cause for you, it's personal. Can you tell us your story and how this became part of your life?
I can, yeah. Plasma donation is personal to me as I have a condition called hemophilia, which is a bleeding disorder that means my body does not naturally produce one of the proteins involved in the clotting process. So as a kid, I was dependent upon medicines made from plasma to survive. I frankly wouldn't be alive today were it not for the generosity of plasma donors. I also tragically lost my younger brother to a hemophilia-related incident, which was a stark reminder of how serious the condition is when untreated. And I have a 5-year-old daughter that has hemophilia as well. So this is a personal topic that I feel very passionate about.
And for people who've never thought about plasma donation, what's important for them to understand?
There's two things I'd like people to understand about plasma donation. The first is that plasma cannot be manufactured. It is a critical and scarce resource used to make these plasma-derived medicines, but it cannot be manufactured. We only obtain plasma through the generosity of donors. And the second thing I'd like people to appreciate is that the need for plasma has never been greater. We are diagnosing more people in America and around the world with things like hemophilia and primary immune deficiency. And as we diagnose these individuals, we need to supply them with the medications to treat their conditions. So the need has never been greater, and plasma can only be obtained through donation.
Can you walk us through what actually happens during a plasma donation? What should someone expect?
Yeah, so someone who's donating plasma for the first time will go to a plasma donation center where they will meet with a medical professional and undergo an examination, a screening, and a questionnaire to ensure that they are indeed a healthy donor. Then the donation itself will take place. The first visit takes about 2 hours to get through all of those components, and then subsequent visits are about an hour.
And a lot of people are familiar with donating blood, but how is plasma donation different?
Yeah, that's a great question. So blood donation, something a lot of people are more familiar with. Blood donation involves donating all 4 components of blood. Blood, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma, which is the liquid that carries proteins, hormones, and other materials through the body. When we donate plasma, only the plasma is extracted, and the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets are actually returned to the donor's body. There's a few scientific reasons for this, but in short, what it amounts to for the person in the chair is a blood donation takes about 15 minutes, a plasma donation takes about an hour.
If somebody's watching and thinking, maybe I could do this, where should they start?
Great question. BioLifePlasma.com is where people can go to learn more about plasma donation, the process itself, as well as where they can go to find a center near them. BioLifePlasma.com.
Patrick James Lynch, I really want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
More than 60 years of rock and they're still filling arenas. From Rock You Like a Hurricane to Wind of Change, the Scorpions have sold over 110 million records and helped define rock for generations. Now they're heading back to Las Vegas for a brand new residency celebrating 6 decades of music. So joining us from Germany, we've got Klaus, Meine, and Matthias of Scorpions. It's great to have you both here. How are you?
Great.
Very good. How are you? Thanks for having
Good morning.
us.
I'm doing good. All right. It's been 60 years. That's one heck of a long time for pretty much any business. When you look back, what stands out most about the journey from those in the early days in Hanover to now headlining another Vegas residency?
Oh, it's crazy when you think about it, you know, because for German band, when we started out in the early 70s, writing lyrics in English, you know. It was a big dream, you know, to say one day we'll play the United States. And when we had the chance to come over in '79 and throughout the 80s, you know, this dream came true, you know, and it's a wonderful thing after so many years that we're still together, still playing a global stage and, still rocking like a hurricane. And we can't wait to come back for another residency in Vegas in September, and hope many, many fans from all over the place will join us and see us there.
And songs, like you mentioned, Rock You Like a Hurricane, No One Like You, and Winds of Change, still connect with a new audience. What do you think gives those songs that staying power?
I mean, first of all, with No One Like You, I think we were in 1982 with a Blackout tour. We were the most played radio song on rock radio, at least, and gave us the headline status in the States touring, and then followed by Rock You Like a Hurricane. The 80s were extremely good for the Scorpions, and with Wind of Change, we topped it all in the early 90s, and those are three iconic songs which we still play live and which carried us through the decades, you know, plus many other songs like Still Loving You, Big City Nights, whatever we have. And all those greatest hits we will play on stage at the residency in Vegas.
Yes, Vegas has become a home base for you. And the last couple of years, and I think we talked last year, what makes this residency different from the previous runs you've done?
We have to find out. I mean, we are still on the 60th anniversary tour. We will always play the greatest hits because, you know, there's such a great demand from the fans. But we have time enough to think about something very special.
So when you build the set list for a show like this, how do you balance the massive hits with some of the deeper cuts and maybe even some new material?
They have to be a good balance, you know, because there's so many songs that the fans want to hear, definitely, you know, and so we throw in songs also from Rock Believer, our latest album, you know, so like songs like Gas in the Tank, but also all-time classics like The Zoo, Loving You Sunday Morning, Tease Me, Please Me, you know, all these rockers, and a couple of beautiful ballads like Send Me an Angel are in the set as well, you know, so many songs we just have to play, and then we think about on digging deep into some other material we haven't played for quite a while.
So after 6 decades, what still excites you about walking on stage and hearing that crowd?
The fans. I mean, it's the roar of the audience. The minute you go out, you might be nervous before you walk out on stage, but the minute you see the fans, you're connected and it clicks, you know, and together we have a magic evening, rocking out like crazy. And especially in Vegas, there couldn't be a better place to celebrate 60 years of Scorpions.
Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me today. Scorpions coming home to Las Vegas. 60 plus years of Scorpions kick off this fall at PH Live at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets are on sale now. Get them at Ticketmaster.com/ScorpionsVegas. If you ever wanted to hear those anthems live in one room, this is your chance. I want to thank you two one more time for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
And enjoy. Have a good day.
More than 80% of Americans are falling short on a nutrient their bodies can't even make on their own. And it may be happening even if you eat pretty healthy. With Omega-3 Day coming up on March 3rd, we're looking at why so many people are missing omega-3s and what that could mean for their overall health. Joining us this morning is Kate Turner, registered dietitian and head of consumer education at Nordic Naturals. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kate, why are so many Americans falling short on omega-3s, even the people that try to eat pretty healthy?
So it's a great question. And like you said, more than 80% of Americans aren't getting enough omega-3s to their diet. We're just not consuming enough omega-3 rich foods. For example, you would need to eat 3 ounces of salmon every single day or 76,000 chia seeds each day to get a common daily serving of 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA, which are the omega-3s our bodies need. Yet we have to rely on our diet because our bodies can't efficiently make those 2 critical omega-3s we need, which are primarily found in cold water fatty fish and algae, foods that typically are an abundant part of the daily American diet.
Now, we often hear about omega-3s and heart health, but the benefits go beyond that. What are some of the other surprising ways they support the body?
Yes, so that's right. Omega-3s are often associated with heart health. But also, omega-3s are one of the few nutrients that help support every single cell in the body. And essentially, whatever your body does well or doesn't do well greatly depends on the health of your cells, making omega-3s critical in supporting brain and cognitive health, mood support, skin and joint health, immune function, and just overall everyday well-being. And what most people don't know is that omega-3s also help nutrients get into your cells and help push unwanted waste out of your cells more effectively. So if you are taking other supplements or just focused on eating a nutrient-rich diet, meeting your daily omega-3 needs really matters if you want to reap the full benefits of those healthy lifestyle efforts.
Now, for someone watching this morning, what are a few simple ways to add more omega-3s into their daily routine?
Yep. So eating foods high in the omega-3s, EPA, and DHA is a great place to start. This includes cold water fatty fish like salmon, anchovies, and sardines, or algae for any vegans, vegetarians, or non-fish eaters. But as studies have shown, it's really difficult to get enough omega-3s from food sources alone. And this is why adding in a high quality omega-3 supplement to your daily routine, whether that's fish oil or algae oil, can help ensure you're meeting your omega-3 needs so you can get all of those whole body benefits. Nordic Naturals offers omega-3s in liquid, capsule, and even gummy forms, making it easy for every stage of life and preference.
If someone's considering a supplement, what should they be looking for to make sure they're choosing a quality option?
Yep. So first, I always like to start with the common misconception that fish oil can taste or smell fishy or may even give you fish burps. Now, if you've experienced that, it means that the fish oil you took was exposed to oxygen, making it go rancid and giving you that awful experience. Nordic Naturals takes extra steps in our manufacturing process to avoid that. And that's why when choosing a supplement, you want to choose a trusted brand whose products are research-backed and third-party tested. And Nordic Naturals also offers a convenient certificate of analysis so you can verify the strength, purity, and freshness of each product.
Finally, where can our viewers go for more information?
They can head to nordic.com, where we have helpful educational resources and convenient shopping options, as well as many of our products are available in retail stores nationwide.
Kate, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
WrestleMania is already one of the biggest events in sports entertainment, and this year it's turning into an entire week-long takeover in Las Vegas. From SmackDown to Raw to the massive two-night WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium, fans are getting more action than ever. So joining us now is WWE superstar Liv Morgan, champion, rule breaker, and one of the most dangerous competitors in the game. Welcome to the show, Liv. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I love that introduction. Thank you. I'm doing well. I woke up the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. So I have no complaints,
All right. Congratulations to you. You've been kicking butt, both literally and figuratively. WrestleMania 42 just got even bigger with SmackDown and Raw added to the week. What does it mean to be part of an entire WrestleMania week instead of just one night?
Yeah, so WrestleMania week is always chaotic in the best way. We have Friday Night SmackDown, as you said, Monday Night Raw. We have the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony where Stephanie McMahon's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So iconic. And then we have our 2-day spectacle of WrestleMania. It is a very busy week, but it is so worth it. There is so much connection with the WWE universe. So many opportunities to run into your favorite WWE superstar and get an autograph and get a photo. Giving back to the WWE Universe and the community of Las Vegas for so graciously hosting us in our second year of WrestleMania there. Last year we had our most successful WrestleMania of all time in Las Vegas as far as attendance and viewership. And so we are excited to run it back and do it bigger and better than ever.
You've had some massive moments in your career. Money in the Bank, championship wins, the Revenge Tour. When you look at this year's WrestleMania season, where does that rank for you personally?
Ooh, well, I think for me, it might end up ranking as number one because after 11 years of hard work and dedication, I've finally certified myself a spot in the WrestleMania event. Which day, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to walk out a champion. And so I'm super excited.
Okay, and Backlash is coming up in Tampa in May, and it's the first premium live event after WrestleMania. How does the energy shift after WrestleMania, and why should fans expect fireworks at Backlash?
Yeah, so WrestleMania to me kind of signifies like the start of the wrestling new year. You know, we work all year to lead into WrestleMania, to tell these stories and have these matches at WrestleMania. And once it's done, it kind of feels like a reset. So Backlash being the first PLE in the wrestling new year, as far as I'm concerned, in Tampa, where I'm currently from. So I kind of feel like the hometown hero walking in, a brand new champion. So you can expect excitement, chaos, and I'm known to be a little bit messy, so you can expect a mess.
All right, some fans love you, some fans love to hate you. Either way, they're watching, but how do you channel that reaction when you step into the ring?
Kind of exactly what you said. You know, they either love to hate me or hate to love me, and I welcome and appreciate it all because I don't really care what you think about me, respectfully. You know, it is what it is, and I'm going to do the same thing that I do regardless. But I appreciate the noise. Everything that we do is for the audience and for their energy. So whether they're cheering or booing me, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Maybe you should challenge some of them to the ring themselves.
They can't handle me. Are you kidding me?
All right, for anyone who's never experienced a WWE live event in person, what's different about being inside that arena compared to like just watching it at home?
Yeah, so, you know, watching at home, you get all the camera angles, you get the commentary on your TV. It's a very much more intimate, controlled experience. But live, you have the energy of the hundreds of thousands of people that got a ticket with you that are cheering or booing their favorite WWE superstars. It is such a mix of athleticism, sport, entertainment, blended in a way that only WWE can provide. So you are definitely in for a treat because WWE is for everyone and we want everyone to be entertained. So you bring your mom, your uncle, your cousins, your dog. I don't think dogs are allowed in the venue, so you can't bring your dog, but your dog can sit and enjoy at home if you don't come to the show. But I'd recommend coming to the show.
I've also heard that you're becoming a movie star and have a project on the way.
I have something on the way. Bad Lieutenant, I filmed in Japan last year. It's going to hit theaters in September. I was very excited about the project. I learned a lot, and I feel better after the fact, having the experience. I was lucky to be in the room with all of these incredibly talented veterans of the film industry. And the WWE audience is going to see me in a way that I think perhaps they never thought they'd see me. So I would tune in.
Liv Morgan, I want to thank you for joining me today. WrestleMania 42 takes over Las Vegas April 18th and 19th at Allegiant Stadium, with SmackDown on April 17th and Raw on April 20th at the T-Mobile Arena. And WWE Backlash heads to Tampa on May 9th. You can get your tickets and full event details at WWE.com. Liv, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you. Have a good day. And don't forget to watch me. Future champion over here, okay?
And that is it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. I know it's so sad we got to leave so early, but if you like us so much, you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, our website, that's riseunwindtv.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, also at Rise Unwind. And until next week, that was the show we like to call Rise and Unwind.